all intermediate players. So today we're just going to be talking about algebraic notation, also known as chess notation. You may have seen it many times on chess.com, in professional tournaments if you've ever been. You may have wondered what NC3 means, or BB5, or with the X, with a plus, two O's. We're going to go through all of that today. So as you can see on the screen, we've just got a lot of letters. It's very simple if you think about it. You multiply if you know maths. Let's say if you look at G1, you do G times 1, that's G1. Right? You'd write it like algebra, if you've ever done that in school. That's how you'd write it. Or E4, E times 4 is E4. That's how you want to think of it. So as we've talked about the board placements before, this is 1 to 8, 8 to H, this is H to A, 8 to 1, so opposite for black. But this is white's perspective, this is black. So we're just going to go through what each piece has as a letter. So knight would have N, bishops would have B, rooks would have a capital, all of these are capital, would have an R, queen would have a Q, king would have K. And if you were wondering why knight, as knight starts with a K and king starts with a K, knight, you say it with an N, the K silent, so they put an N, and king is K, so it's king. And pawns have no letter because they're a special piece. If you ever want to say a pawn, you just say the letter. So if my pawn moved from E4 to E5, it would be E5. You don't need to say anything else, just E5, or let's say from C2 to C4, it's just C4. And you may have seen these. So X, lowercase x, means that piece has captured that piece. So bishop captured that or something. Short castling would be here if you're white. It would show 2 O's, and then this one would be long, which would show 3 O's. And then the plus is just a simple check. Now we'll go through an example in a game, a random scenario. So let's say white wants to play this. This would be called E4. As it's a pawn, you just say the letter. So black responds E5, and you can see on the top right here, E4, E5. Then let's say I just play my queen. So usually it would not obviously have a queen symbol. It would have a capital Q. So QH5. It's just chess.com is advanced, but it's QH5. So then let's say black plays, so I'm just going to say it before, knight F6. So yeah, it's knight F6 because F and 6, it matches here. So now obviously I'm just going to take this to show you the check example where it should have a plus at the end. So it should be to queen, so Q, E5 plus. And I've forgotten something, but whenever you take a piece, as I said, it captures, it becomes an X. So the queen takes the pawn on E5 with a check. So that's why here it says QX E5 plus. And let's say if you block with the queen, then it should be QX on E7. So it is QX E7, and then as it's another check, it's another plus, and then it should be bishop takes on E7, so BX E7. So that's just to show you the example, and of a castling example, I'll just show you. Obviously, I'll show you another example. This would be knight takes E4, so knight X E4. You do not need to know this by heart, but just think of it when you're playing. If you're in professional tournaments, they'll ask you to write it down. So let's say as white, I do this, and now I'll show you how the short castle looks like. It should just be 2 O's, as you can see here, 2 O's, 1 O dash the other. And now I'll show you an example of a long castling. So I will just open my possibility of long castling, then something random, and then now this should show 3 O's as it's a long castle. So that's all the main topics about chess notation. And if you ever wanted to check them out, if you look at chess.com's chess openings website, and this is the chess.com's website, I advise everyone to get it. So if you're, let's say you're in play, you would want to go to learn. So many things here, but as we're just focusing on the notation, I'll just go to openings. I'll click on any random one, I'll scroll and I'll click, let's get the King's Indian attack. It shows here NF3, D5, G3. And this 1 means the first move, and then the first is always white, then black. Second move, white, then black would have another one here. We can check another example out. This one's longer. So it'd be 1, E4 is white, E5 is black. 2, second move, Knight F3, Knight C6 as for black. And third would be Bishop C4. That's how chess notation works, algebraic notation. So you don't need to use it so much right now as intermediates, but just think about it when you're playing. If you ever want to play blindfolded chess, may want to use it. And yeah, hopefully this video is useful for you. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.